Are you there? Solana? I'm back.
All right. Hang on. It's playing again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Awesome. I'll tell you, I just got done playing the video. That's why I couldn't hear you or respond to you when you were saying, I'm back, can you hear me? Because I was playing the video, and I hope that that records well and is seen during the playback.
Cool.
Yeah. So we are live and streaming. So let me see. I know Brian said that he's going to be watching, make sure that we are streaming correctly. We are live. So let me know what you see. All right. So anyway, this is going to be our show, Miss Christina and myself, Solana, the Paranormal Psychic Show. We will be here Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And so do check back often with us to see what the topic's going to be. I know that you're not going to want to miss it. I know that for today, with everything that happened in California, I wanted to talk about being naughty and nice, but that doesn't. I mean, seriously, we could just take that topic to so many different places, right? Oh my God, yeah. Because there's just so many places. But then for today, for what happened, it's like, oh, I know everyone's just feeling the tension and feeling the stress of it, and certainly.
Especially me, it hits close to home with me. I live there, so
God, yeah. You just moved away a couple months ago, and so you were right there. And if you hadn't moved, you'd been right in the middle of it.
Pretty much
close enough to fear, to wonder and to be worried, especially once you hear that the people fled the scene. They're now running through the streets, with this armor.
Absolutely. I have a lot of friends and family in the area, and so I'm very concerned. I'm in Montana now. Mary and I chose to leave California because of the crime rate and the amount of people that are living in the state of California now. We didn't leave out of fear. We just left because we don't want to be in that situation as the situation that happened today. We just decided at our age we want to just go somewhere and be peaceful and finish out our years in a happy, more rural area. I got tired of the freeways, the people. It was just too much. There's more people in California. I mean, there's more people in Southern California than the whole state of Montana. There's 26.8 million, I believe, in that area, and in Montana, we just hit the million mark of people. Right. So that goes to show you. But that's why we came here. And so, and now all this stuff is happening in California. And not only that, earthquakes are going to happen. We're going to be landlocked there. You're not going to be able to get out because freeways get on lockdown. There's no roads to get out. Everything will be on lockdown. And it's not a fear-based situation. It's just that we're getting older and we can't move around and do as much as a younger person could probably walk 20 miles, to get out of a situation where we couldn't. I'm disabled with my knees and stuff, so I just wanted to be in a safer place, and that's why we chose Montana, and we love it here. We visited here in July and said this is where we want to be. So Mary transferred with her work, but again, this situation in California is a really, really bad situation. It is the largest mass shooting since Sandy Hook, and there's 17 confirmed dead. Possibly before this is all over, there'll be a few more. And that's not counting the 2 they've already killed that were the shooters. Now they're saying, this is all speculation, that it's possibly women. Well, who's ever heard of that, right? That did the shooting. And so, I mean, there's just some bizarre, strange things happening in this world. This is our world today, and we need to be concerned, and we need to be ready. And I'm not trying to put fear and use Solana or anyone else, but we do need to be ready. Mary and I both carry concealed weapons. We are allowed to do that as women in the state of Montana. We could buy guns in Montana without huge background checks. We can walk in, pay for a gun, and walk out. It's amazing. We carry our guns everywhere unless we're at a federal building or a school. Of course, we wouldn't. You're not supposed to. Of course, that's illegal, and we know that. We do live by the law. But we are ready. We are ready in case something like this happens. I guarantee you, if that shooter would have walked into my place of work, I would have took one or two down before he took me down.
That's a lot of what people don't understand is that if people in that building were allowed to be armed, just like the building when they went into the Army Reserve, or
Yes.
was it Reserve Recruiting
In El
Office,
Paso?
whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and even they aren't allowed to carry weapons. They're military, but they're not allowed to carry military weapons on military installations.
Isn't that ridiculous? I know.
Most certainly. I mean, and they want to restrict our gun laws as well. I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, because because that one man that was inside that recruiting office, he was the guy who was running it, who is now being charged. He shot, and stopped them. He would be dead. I mean, they would all be dead. And who knows who else would be dead in that neighborhood, or in
Absolutely.
that strip mall.
Absolutely.
But, and it didn't help Paris. Paris doesn't have any gun control. I mean, they have gun control. They're not allowed to have guns.
Even the police officers don't carry guns.
Right. I mean, they have to be military that has to come in. It's like, what? I mean, come on. And so, if women and people weren't allowed to ever have guns, then we wouldn't. I mean, I don't know if you remember that there was a shooting inside a theater that was an off-duty police officer that shot someone. He's allowed to carry a gun, but so you see what happens to those that are allowed to carry weapons here, the criminals, the ex-police, police officers, when they're off duty, they're allowed to carry a weapon. There's, concealed weapon laws in a lot of states, where you're allowed to carry without being shown that you have a weapon on you, so that nobody.
Absolutely.
You can stop people in their track that way. Otherwise, you're not stopping nobody. Nothing's happening. I don't know why my video is not working. It's just like spinning.
But it is a situation, and it's what time in California? It's 5 o'clock there now, and this happened at about 10:45 this morning, and they're still running around like banshees trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Why did they do this? What was the motive? Is there another one loose? And so it's just a very chaotic situation. You can imagine the people that live in the area, they're living in fear right now. They're scared. They don't know what's going on or where this shooter is, or, it's just I'm watching the news now as we speak, and it's just a very frightful, horrible situation. It's naughty. It's not nice. It's naughty.
No, completely naughty. Yeah. But here's the thing. They think those people that do that stuff are following orders. They think what they're doing is good. Is for the better of mankind.
Well, we just had that shooter that went into the family planning building and shot up a few people, and it was a really bad situation. He felt in his mind, his sick mind, that what he was doing was for the higher good and for God. Right. And look how many lives he's destroyed. These people have families and friends, and everybody's there's so many people that are affected by this. What these girls or guys or whoever these shooters did, they're not only affecting the situation, they're affecting the world. Same with Paris. That affected the world. That hurts the energy of this earth. The energy is felt. So it causes like an oppression around the world. Right. It's like a shot that was heard around the world, and it's a very negative situation. So people start feeling negative and sad, because that's being put out into the universe. Yeah. That day, you remember, Solana, the day this happened in Paris, we all felt very depressed and upset and very saddened.
Oh yes, I'm sure the Richter scale was just off the hook.
Yes. And there is you mentioned it to me before, and you might want to talk about that a little bit. There is actually some sort of a graph or something where they can measure the energy when there's a massive disaster. like 911. Talk about that for a minute.
Yeah. Let's be clear. They are constantly measuring the energy play on this planet. They are constantly watching the waves because they're constantly putting out information and putting out experience or events and things. And so they, even just through the media, right? You hear and see a sad commercial on television for Christmas, right? And who's sitting at home crying, right? Exactly. So they're measuring the energy that's going out constantly. So they're already up and running when these events happen. And so when the 9/11 happened, the energy was just off the charts. Yeah, and it's not a good energy because it's a fearful energy. It's an energy of that, And so
you can feel it.
Oh yes, everyone feels it. Everyone's saying it's all over social media. I mean, here we're talking about it today.
We're affected by it. Yeah.
Always. We're constantly being affected by it, and people just have no idea. They just have no idea. Well, I mean, what's the point of watching the energy play? First of all, that should be our first question. Not are they doing it, but if they're doing it, why?
Yeah.
What's the point of watching the energy? Doesn't that make you think? I mean, what's their point? What's their end goal? What's the
motive?
What are they? Yeah. What's their motive behind tracking our energy? It's because energy has everything to do with what's going on the planet, has everything to do with how we are responding to
the economy.
Oh, well, God, that just puts
hurts our economy.
Money's the biggest thing, too. And as we get poorer, they get richer.
Well, they found that. You remember? I was reading something very interesting. It was way back, but pull your screen down a little bit so I can see your pretty face. I was reading here a while back that when the day 9/11 happened, for instance, and I'm sure even with Paris, our economy dipped horribly. And it wasn't just because of the accident. It was because nobody was leaving their homes because they wanted to watch the TV.
Exactly.
So these situations cause devastating, reactions towards our economy and other things as well. It's a domino effect.
Oh yeah, and every aspect of our life, the energy affects us. I mean, you're even just walking into a grocery store, especially then when I walked into when 9/11 happened. I actually didn't have television. I didn't watch. I don't even watch it now. We've got like 5 TVs in the house, and
I know
mine's hardly on. And so, but anyway, so I didn't hear about it right when it was happening, right? So I like. And I go to work at like 2:00 in the afternoon. So I was, getting ready to go to work, but I had to stop by the store and it was on television. And so that's where I first heard about it. And everyone in the store was just, frozen and staring at the television. It was just like at that moment, and it was longer than a moment because not only were they like that in the store before I got to work, when I got to work, the restaurant TVs had it on and everyone was just stopped and just in shock and watching it. And so that energy from the rest of the day, people coming into the restaurant were just, in fact, business was lower.
Yeah.
But, and they were just the ones that were there were just sad. They just didn't have anywhere else to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wanted to be around people at that time as well. I know when it happened, I was with Kim and we were just getting up and one of the kids came in and said, "Oh my God, come look at the news." And we ran in to see what was going on and it was just devastating. And I know the kids, I had my 3 stepkids there and I didn't want them to leave. You said, "You're not going to school today. You're staying with us." We're all staying together as a family because we were scared. It was a fear that it just flew through us. It was horrible.
And then not only that, things were right away changed because the airplanes were no longer flying, and we were constantly seeing airplanes.
And I lived over an airport, like you, and so that was weird.
That was very weird to just have silence like that.
And so that messed with our psyche, and it is, and it kind of messes with your psyche, doesn't it?
It does. Everything does. Everything that happens to us, not because again, if you can imagine, they are recording your energy. So what is that doing to your energy? It is like a shock to the system, a jolt. to your energy system when you go through things like that. That's why when I do aura readings, I see a lot of scarring on the energy system. And it's because of the things they went through. It's like somebody just, shooting them and, just jabbing them, and it's just scarring, and
it is.
That can affect every aspect of your life. It's like, how do you love yourself and understand, everything about you, when you don't even understand why things are going on in the world, and everyone says, like, God's got the bigger plan. I understand that, but we're also looking and dealing with the fact that, God can't control everything as far as, we have free will. There are people in sanctioned areas that, what is he supposed to do? Come down and zap everybody anytime they're naughty?
Exactly.
Do you want him to start making a list?
Yeah, and checking it twice. Exactly. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you what, it's gonna be an awful lonely place.
I mean, there won't be people be able to lie on the internet. You can't make up You can't make up a fake name. You better be who you are all the time.
Well, if he zaps all the naughty ones, there's only gonna be about 2 people left. So
that's just it. Everybody thinks that they're so nice and everything, but I'm sorry, you do some naughty things.
We're all we all have a little few skeletons here and there and do our naughty things. We all do. We argue with our spouses. We argue with our kids, or we do this, or we do that. We all are naughty. Yes. Everybody's on the naughty list. We just try to live good, but
and I heard it best said the other day. Where did I hear that? It was it was in the song, a Tool song, and it was a song dedicated to his mother. His mother had passed on back in the early 90s, something like that. I can't remember now, but dang it. But anyway, so he wrote this song for her, and he says that she was just the most unconditional, loving person that he'd known in his life. And, then he goes, she never told a lie. Well, maybe she told a lie, but she didn't live a lie. That really hit. It's like, that's right. We're not living a lie. It's like, we don't live lies. We're real. Yeah. We got real life going on. Yeah. there is no living lies. And so that's, the difference. But people just throw that judgment real quick. We're infidels to the Muslim people. To that
infidels.
We're infidels. It's like, what? Who decided that? And thank God didn't just come down and smite us because someone thought we were.
That's just human flesh judging us.
But, and why do we do that? The biggest thing that is judge, at least we be judged. Nobody remembers that little saying.
Exactly. We're all judged every day. Every day there's somebody judging us. Especially when you're like us and we're out in full force and we have a little bit of a celebrity status and people know us, and because of that, we're judged every day. Boy, we got to have some tough skin because people don't know us. People think they know us and they're judging us, but they don't know us. But I've had to grow some tough skin, and I know you have too. So.
Oh, you know what? And I have, and I do, and I will, and I'll continue to, because that's just, I can't. And I was just talking and thanking my sister the other day, because if it weren't for her, I probably wouldn't remember half of this stuff that went on in my childhood. Because not only was I seeing things, I was just being traumatized, right? And so it's amazing that I remember anything. And so, but anyway, because it just, you get traumatized by the world around you and you forget about a lot of things. Like even my point right now, because I'm trying to do 2 things at one time. His brain over here is telling me that we're not streaming every time he chats in my broadcast. It kicks him out, but he's watching. I wonder if he's watching on YouTube. Are you watching on YouTube, Brian?
There, my chat's open now.
Okay, I was just going to say if he was watching on YouTube.
And Gina was supposed to come in too. I had given her the link, so I don't see her as well. But if they're watching, thank you guys for watching. And Brian, get better if you can hear me. I know you're not feeling well. Bless your heart. I know it sucks to be sick. Sucks. Mm-hmm. But one of the other things I wanted to touch on base about these disasters as well is the paranormal side of it and how it leaves such a residual energy. An impact, a thumbprint, a tape recorder in time that never goes away.
Vibration.
Yeah, it's a vibration. For instance, 9/11, the Twin Towers, when they went down and so many people were killed and it was such a tragedy. To this day, people still hear the paranormal the screams.
Mm-hmm.
They have recordings. I've heard them of screams. Those are the people probably jumping out of the buildings. Hundreds of people jumped. They hear the splats, hitting the ground. They have recordings of that today. They take pictures of the buildings where they were, and sometimes, and I've seen these as well, and they're amazing. And I actually have one in my possession, but you can faintly see the Twin Towers in the distance because that thumbprint, that tape recorder, that disaster left that in time.
Mm-hmm.
And those
Yes.
can never go away. Just as we're out on the battlefields, let's say the Little Bighorn, when all those soldiers were killed and the cannons were going off and the screams and the smoke, and it was a horrible situation during the Civil War. When you go out there into that field, they still to this day hear soldiers screaming. They hear cannons going off. They could smell the residue of the smoke from the cannons and the guns. That is a residual energy. It's a thumbprint left in time.
It's still the same way, just as energy is left like that on that spot.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same in the memory of the people who experienced that day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, and that if that doesn't just validate, or confirm to people that can still hold on to that energy and feel it so many years and months, later, that energy in that place is the same way.
Yeah.
We've had several people in the Free Psychic Ability Development Group that go by areas and they get flashes of seeing from, hundreds of years ago, people in period clothing of 1800s and what have you. And that area just feels like, you can just feel the dread of the person that, they're feeling. So that imprint will stay there. I mean, my God, think how many years. I mean, because again, we can clear, but as long as other people still carry that energy and that imprint within them, that's still going to be played out wherever they go, wherever they see it. So it's like you need to remember that too, because sometimes it's not always paranormal. Sometimes.
Yeah, it's not always paranormal. We call it paranormal, but it's just residual. It's energy.
Yeah,
it's just energy. Just as where these shooters went in that building today and shot up, what was it, 14 people died or 12, I don't remember. But anyway, that's always going to be felt in that building. That energy will never go away.
Right.
I'm sure that building will be demolished because of that. And that's why we demolish these buildings, because the people that still are working there and that are alive are going to feel that energy. And other people as well, they go in the building. So
I don't even know. Do you think, though, if they demolish the building, the land would still carry?
Oh, well, absolutely. No, it would give them peace of mind. Would you want to go back into a building and work where somebody next to you was slaughtered and dead on the ground? No, I wouldn't.
They rebuilt.
I don't want to remember that.
They rebuilt over the Twin Towers.
Yeah, they did.
They rebuilt over everything. They rebuilt and still using today the government building in Oklahoma that was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've been there. I've seen that. But it's you're right. I mean, it's still the same spot. It's still the same energy, the same place. It's peace of mind for the people. I know I would feel better walking into a new building than to be walking into a building that was splattered with blood and chaos and murder. Yeah. It's just not a good feeling.
I know it's the same like when in a house, or a hotel that has a lot of activity and things or horrific things that happened in it. You still feel it. It's like, I don't want to go down there.
And it's true. Even me and you being paranormal investigators and have been in situations like that, our hair still stands up on the back of our necks. We still feel it.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, that's why I do it, though. I love that feeling because it's exhilarating. It's like there's more life going on. It really is. It can get addicting to want to get into paranormal.
It can be. If you're a true paranormal investigator, it just means you're a thrill seeker because it's an amazing thrill. Exactly. It is. I've gotten things thrown at me, and to me, I guess because I love it so much, I'm like a magnet. Just throw it at me, baby. I want to feel it. I want to see it. And so I have. I've had witnesses, butter knives, candles, you name it. It's been thrown at me. So stones.
That would be my witness.
Yeah, She's witnessed it. I've had candles, Solana and I've had a candle blown up, thrown across the whole room in front of both of us and blew up. Literally blew up. And the candle wasn't lit, never lit. Yeah, twice it's happened to us.
Twice it threw it was up on the bar, and we were sitting in the living room, and you were actually on the couch, like facing the bar, and I had my back to the bar, and then all of a sudden we just hear this big boom, and we're like, what was that?
Well, we saw it with the corner of our eye. We saw
Well,
it.
you saw it. I didn't see it. I heard the big bang that it made when it hit the floor.
It was crazy.
You saw it. So you get up and you walk around there, and there's this candle, and it was like, no way.
A million pieces.
Oh my God, no. That was at first. It wasn't a million pieces when
that was the second
picked it up.
time.
Yeah, you picked it up and put it on that little table sitting beside me.
Yeah,
and I'm like, okay, we're gonna clear. So we move on with our day, and I'm in the kitchen making dinner, and then all of a sudden that candle that's sitting on the table in the living room flies back into the kitchen and lands on the bar and explodes and is upside down.
Upside down.
And the candle, wax, everything is all on the side of the wall.
The ceiling, the side of the wall, everywhere.
Oh my God. It was everywhere. And I had a blast sound going off in my ears.
A concussion from the explosion.
How long after I could hear that?
It left a concussion. When you're in an explosion, I have like a tire explode. I've had that happen, and it leaves a concussion. You feel like it's
yes.
And it's a funny feeling, and people that have been around explosions have felt that. That's what that candle did. It left a concussion, and Solana was near it, so it kind of messed with her equilibrium in her ears, but that was amazing, and that candle had never been lit. So don't think it was lit, guys, because it wasn't. It just flew across the room and blew up like a bomb. It was like it threw a Molotov cocktail at Solana and tried to hit it and blow up.
Oh my God, yeah, because it was just 3 feet behind me. So I could still hear the blast.
Yeah.
For however long. Oh my God, that was and those were the candles that we used at your wedding.
Yeah.
So that was the only time that they had been lit.
Yeah, they were lit for about 20 minutes?
Yeah, and then that was it. And then we took them to the house.
That was a week or two before.
Yes.
So it's not like they were still hot or anything like that.
Oh gosh, no. And I'm snobby, but I've never had a candle fly from the kitchen to the living room, from the living room to the kitchen, and then explode. I mean, you just can't Google that. What is this thing? No, that means some shit's going on.
I know. That's some shit right there. But you know what, Slug? That's our life.
It always, when we were sitting in Montana, what happened? What happened while we were sitting in Montana?
Kaboom.
Not just the kaboom, but also
Remember the kaboom?
Sliding glass door opening by itself, and I'm talking a heavy double pane sliding glass door.
It is hard to open.
Heavy for me to open, and I thought Mary had walked in. Because again, my back is to the door. I think I'm going to turn that around, but yeah, you saw the door open up and close.
Real slow, like open wide.
Yeah, I expected to hear Mary, behind me saying, "Hey, whatever." But no Mary. And she was actually out in the garage. She was nowhere around the back door.
And I said, Solana, that door just opened by itself. She goes, yeah, I heard it.
Yeah.
I go, no, seriously, by itself. And she stood up and looked and, oh my God. I said, that's welcome to my life. Because that's what we go through, though. Solana and I have witnessed many things together because our energy, when we're together, our energy is very, very, very strong. So all you skeptics out there could kiss my ass because I'm going to tell you shit out there, okay? There is shit out there. I don't care what you say because Solana and I, we could conjure up some shit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
And then they like, whenever we go to a site, it's like the one when we went to Oatman. There was this tour for us set up before we did our thing. I was like, oh no, I don't need to go on a tour. They're going to come talk to me. I don't need to go and be seen and shown where they are, and sure enough, you went off one way. I went off another.
Explain to them what Oatman is. This is an amazing, you got to give them the situation. It's amazing. You guys,
if you ever get a chance to go to Oatman, Arizona, go.
Just outside of Laughlin.
Yeah, just outside of Laughlin, and it's about an hour and a half from Kingman, Arizona, if you know that area. So it's northern Arizona, northwest Arizona. But anyway, we went because we were going to do a promo there, a video, and an investigation. And oh my God, it's a ghost town. Literally. It's one of those little places that still have the buildings, Of course, some of the buildings have been replaced because of fires.
Yeah.
But for the most part, there's a lot of still original building that's there, and the energy, oh my God, there's a vortex there. But anyway, I digress. And so this used to be just like a mining town. It's not even, Oman, Arizona is not even on the zip code. I think they do have a post office now, but they don't even have their own zip code. And so it's like it's old. It's just old, and it's still, got donkeys, burros walking through the town. Oh yeah, they own the town.
But it's a working ghost town. They have shops and restaurants.
Yes. Oh yeah, it's not vacant of people or void of people at all. No, they definitely have turned it into a tourist spot. Definitely some place that you want to go if you are doing investigations. You want to go to Oatman.
You want to go.
Yeah. But anyway, so when we got there, of course, all these different energies and remember now, this is a working place. So there's people who had just passed on recently, even, that we made contact with and talked to. So it wasn't just people who'd been there since 1600s or whenever. When was that? 1906, I believe, is when it became the first known as a city, a tent city, because there wasn't hardly anything there. A saloon, a whorehouse.
Yeah, there was a whorehouse, a hotel. The hotel / whorehouse.
And a bunch of tents. Because they were mining, so
hey, wait one second. Hold that thought. I got to tell you something. Hold that thought. What do you call a baby born in a whorehouse?
I don't know.
A brothel sprout.
A brothel sprout.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
A brothel sprout. Okay.
This is live TV. Go ahead.
But exactly. Well, you can't help. There used to be, and I'm sorry, even in places like Vegas, it's still legal. Or rather, is legal. Never was illegal there.
Ranch, baby. Mustang Ranch. Yep.
And that's not far from Oatman. But the old towns, they used to have just a bunch of town of miners. Men just, wall to wall men or tent to tent man.
Yeah.
And so, they had to keep them happy. So they built the brothels and brought in the women to make them happy, to keep them. Because, nothing calms a man down more than a whorehouse.
Okay.
And, the owners of the mines owned the whorehouses. So they made money on that, and they made money on the mines. I mean, it was just an enterprise.
It was.
It's still today. But anyway, so yeah. There was actually someone that we contacted behind that hotel.
Yeah.
The man from Dublin. I can't remember his name. What was his name? He was like the town drunk.
Yeah.
What he turned out to be, not certainly who he started out to be. But turned out that was the end of his life. But yeah, tragic. The most amazing person that I contacted was the old man that grabbed my ankle.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy. And so, there was just all kinds of energy. Yeah, cray. I have pictures because I had marks on my ankle the next morning. It was a handprint. Clearly.
I saw it. It was fingers. It was literally fingers. Bruised. Yeah, that was cray. We got pictures.
Yep.
For all you skeptics out there, like, they're so stupid. They're so bad. No, it's for real.
Speaking of having proof and stuff, that was one of the first places that we'd been to where we couldn't even keep a battery going. Every time, we'd get the battery on and start filming within 10 minutes.
Suck it up.
Gone.
It's gone.
And then sort of even the backup to the backup to the backup.
It was nuts.
Yeah. So no usable, even the footage we did get didn't have audio. Yeah. It was like you had video, dark video and some, because it was dark out there. But
weird. We got a lot of fuzzy stuff and
it was all of it unusable. No usable footage from that investigation.
What did we have? Like 4 hours of footage?
Yeah, and we had 4 GoPros
Yeah.
The GoPros didn't have any audio.
Nope.
And then we had two handheld cameras.
Yeah.
You know,
Nice. And these are
nice.
professional, nice
Yes.
cameras, guys. And
Mm-hmm.
they were just jacked. But when we did them in our rooms or at the house we were staying at, they were fine.
Yep.
No problems.
Mm-hmm. But we get out there and that energy just sucked them dry. And the other interesting part about Oatman was that during the day, the energy was completely different than at night.
Yeah, it was.
I mean, during the day, it was a nice, quaint little town. You know, they kept the bustle of people,
Yeah.
pretty steady, and
Mm-hmm.
people having fun and watching the gun shows in the middle of the street, and the
Yeah.
burros sleeping in the middle of the road. And
Yeah. The burros are so cute.
but the
But
sun
it's
goes
crazy.
down.
And at night, nobody's there.
Mm-mm. And in fact, there's not even hotels. There's only a few bed and breakfasts that you can go and spend the night there.
You stay.
Because, Quintopia. If you're going to go, you got to call Jim at Quintopia.
That's a cool place.
It is.
Cheap.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and he serves you dinner and breakfast. Yeah.
And he has
because there's no restaurants. You're not going to get fed anywhere else. So
not at night. During the day, you'll eat, but not at night.
Mm-hmm.
They literally roll the streets up.
They do. Yeah. At 5, 6 o'clock, it's done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. But it's so. And what is it? The town that's only about 20 miles up the road. So that's where most people that work there or work in the stores live there. Laughlin.
Yeah.
So nobody really lives there. A few people.
Now they have a couple hundred people that live inside Oatman.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but they're not out.
No, they're all in. No, you don't see nobody. Mm-hmm. They're gone.
But that energy is, you're right. It's like turning off like a literally night and day light switch.
Yeah.
And the energy is cray at night. And it's not like that during the day.
No, it isn't.
It's like they all come out to play.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, do they?
I mean, I got a guy that was killed. He was an alcoholic. He owned a bar and he was killed in a car accident because he was drunk. He owned the bar there. I got him. He came through beautifully. And we didn't know Solana and I did none whatsoever. Now, we're very ethical when it comes to, I'm ethical anyway, but when it comes to investigations, you have to be very ethical. So we did not do any kind of investigations as far as reading information or anything on Oatman. We wanted to be just pure when we got there and not know anything.
Yeah, but I'm completely ethical when it comes to everything in my life. So
yeah, and it just makes it. When it comes to the paranormal, it makes it more fun, right, Solana? It makes it more fun.
It does, because I don't want to know. I want to be validated. I want to validate whatever they may be feeling and seeing. That they're not crazy. That nobody told me you were seeing that, and then I go, "Oh, I see it." No.
Yeah. And that Solana's big on that. When we've done investigations, she's like, "Don't you tell me nothing. Don't you say nothing." She wants it to be just as pure as white silk.
Yes.
And it is, and she's gotten some pretty good hits. You got some good hits at Oatman. Oh my God!
Gosh.
You got the guy from Dublin,
mm-hmm.
and that was pretty amazing. And the one-legged dude, that had a wooden leg or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so you got some good hits. And there was a guy with us. I don't remember his name now. Was it Fox? He had the same last name as you, Michael.
Mike, yeah, Big Mike.
Big Mike. He was there to validate. He is so cute too. I love him. He was validating everything Solana and I were finding. If it was validationable, he would validate it. Yeah. And I think he was like blown away. He's like, "Oh my God, there's no way you could have known that. Oh my God, Solana, how did you know that? Nobody even knows this story, So it was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely. And the first person I connected with was one of the ladies that lived there, and she was telling me the whole town has changed. The road used to be behind the buildings, and there was houses where there's now a big mountain because they built up so much dirt and everything over there. Mm-hmm. I mean, she showed me all that, and when I told Mike that, he was just like, "Well, yeah." Because again, I want to be cold. I called it cold. I go in cold. Warm means I know information. And I don't like going in warm. I want to go in cold. I don't want to know anything about it. I knew that it was a haunted ghost town.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of the most haunted. Because I've been to Calico and a few other ghost towns, and they were mediocre. But this one by far, because we've been out there 3 times, and this one by far is probably the most haunted I've ever visited. It truly is very haunted.
It really is. Because again, we've been through a lot of ghost towns. We've been through a lot of towns that have that energy. There are a lot of places that people, have stories. of hauntings and what have you taking place there, and I didn't feel nothing. In a lot of the places, but Oatman, oh my God, big time, big time, big time, just
Just crazy
everywhere.
energy.
And because
I think
also
it
it
has
had
a
dark
lot.
energy. There was some dark
Oh
energy.
yeah, there was dark energy. Absolutely. I think a lot of it too might be because of the kind of rock that is in that area holds a lot of energy. Even
Yeah.
scientifically, they call it, I think it's
Hmm.
called Mormon rock. It's a soft rock, and it holds a lot of energy, and there's just tons of it around there. And I think that pretty
Yeah,
much is it's
iron,
got a lot to
ore,
it.
those
Yeah,
all can be conduits of energy and really
absolutely.
just hold it in. That's why the Sedona, has those vortexes that can be felt,
Yeah,
and it's
through
because of the rock.
the
And they
red
come
rock.
up through the rock. Yeah.
But see, and that's what Oatman has is the red rock. It's kind of
Hmm.
a soft. Yeah, it has a lot of minerals in it, so it holds that energy. And so I believe that's partly why it's so haunted.
There's
Um,
vortex there too, and that just holds energy.
yeah,
You know, it
it
really does.
does.
It
It
holds
does.
in. It
It's
holds in.
just again, it's cray cray. So go to Oatman, 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 Arizona, people, for a thrill. Because if you're a thrill seeker with a paranormal, go because this place is amazing, and you get to pet a few donkeys, and they have great ice cream. They have a great little restaurant. A lot of shops. Things are cheap there. It's fun, and
Mhm.
it's just cool. It just is. So go
It
check it
is.
out. So
Go to Quintopia.
Quintopia,
Quintopia. You can find it on Facebook.
yeah.
And he's Oatman Jim and his dog CJ
You
run the
know,
place.
he's a nice guy, and the way he's done it so rustically, his house, and
Oh
it's very
yeah,
clean and just a cool guy. And it was
it
just a lot of fun,
was a
and
great
it's
experience.
experience that I want to do again for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, I see us going back in the near future.
I'm
That
wanting to
would.
go back. I actually see Solana being a snow bunny and staying in there
Yeah, I could
for
do it.
stints. Yeah, I know you
Hmm.
would.
All
So
right, I do it in the summertime because they get cold there too. It's
yeah,
northern Arizona, so
yeah, it gets chilly. They even get
never
snow,
get
so I
snow.
know it
Yeah,
gets a
they
little
get
chilly.
snow.
Yeah. But
But
it gets
anyway,
awful hot in the summer. They get up to 120 degrees in the summertime. So a little
oh
hot for
yeah,
me, but Solano, you love
I
the
like
heat.
that.
So I know.
I like it hot.
I'm all about it. I like it a lot. So yeah. But,
But
but it's
yeah,
quite an
but that the
experience.
energy though, I think that's one of the reasons that things stay the way they do, that things just loop the way they do,
Hmm.
because of the energy play that's still going on here, and that because there are haunted places and there are residual energies, and there's just
Hmm.
so many. We could go all over the planet clearing, and
Absolutely. Yeah.
because
Full
it just
time.
it's here. But I think that's necessary. I think more of us that are in the paranormal field need to get into the part where we are giving solutions,
Hmm.
clearing and resolving the area, not just the place, because it's typically not just the place. Like Oatman, it wasn't just one place in Oatman that's haunted; it was the whole town.
Yeah.
And so you have to be able to clear the whole place.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
don't want to give any spoilers, and I would appreciate probably someone that if you do go to Oatman over the next few months, let me know what you experienced, because we did
Heck yes.
try and clear some of the stuff that was there,
Hmm. Hmm. I
because
tell you,
that's what we
I
do. I can't see
yeah.
dirt and leave it.
No, exactly. That's Solana. You guys know her like I do. That's Solana. But no, I do. I truly want to go back, and I want to take Solana's amazing, talented as well son Brian Fox, and I want to take Solana again. I want to go back
Yeah,
and witness this and go through it again, and it'd be so much. It would be so awesome.
it would be. It would
So
be. We need to anyway. Just to
yeah,
go check. I tell you what,
yeah.
the guy from Dublin doesn't visit me anymore. I'm kind of grateful to that, because
Well,
after in between our two visits, that's the reason we went back the second time,
yeah.
was because he was visiting me. He was coming to me, and it'd be like that tunnel sound, coming at me, and I would try to cross him over, and he just kept going back to Oatman. It's like he couldn't leave Oatman, and so I'm like, okay, showing me that we need to take care of what's in Oatman so that he can leave, because he
Was he
wanted to
looking
go.
for somebody? I didn't deal with him. I dealt
Yeah.
with a couple other guys, but was he looking for someone? I can't remember.
Yeah, there was someone by the name of Samantha, He kept saying he wanted to
Oh,
go
okay.
to
Okay.
Samantha. And I would imagine that's just someone that he encountered along his, time in Oatman.
I think that was
Because
validated for you though, wasn't it? Wasn't there a Samantha?
I'm not sure.
I
I
can't
can't remember
remember
if
if
I
he
got validated.
you got some great validations that night though. I was blown away myself. I was like, whoa. And even Mike was like, Big Mike was like, oh my God. Because it was like, oh my God.
I'm gonna
Oh,
tell
how'd
you,
you
he's on
know
my team
that?
now.
Yeah, yeah.
He's
Big
on my
Mike is
team.
awesome. He's
He
very
is
gifted
awesome.
as well. So
Oh
talented.
yes. Oh
He's
my
like the
gosh.
town, what do you call him? The town crier, the one that goes around playing the music and
Yeah,
he
because
walks
he
around.
does, and he does it all too, though. Because he's the ghost tour guide. He'll take you on a tour
Yeah.
guide. So if you
He
need to,
does the
and
yeah.
everybody knows him. So if you go there, just say, I need to find Big Mike. I need to, I need to go on a
He's the
tour.
one, yeah, he's the one
Um,
that good looking tall cowboy that carries a guitar.
yep, and he'll sing, he'll serenade, and yeah, and they also do the gun shows,
Yeah, yeah.
in which all the money goes to charity.
Isn't that
And so,
cool? Yeah.
yeah, it is. The town really, the people have come together, and the teamwork of it. Again, it's funny to watch because you got break off societies,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it still happen even amongst the people who try to do the best they can. So anyway, yeah,
Exactly.
he's a good guy to go check out. If you're going to go there, but we definitely, if anybody goes, like I said, let me know what you feel. Because I hope that we were able to remove some of this stuff, even though I know that not everything clears. I've
Yeah.
had to go back, 3, 4 times
Yeah.
to do clearing because some things are just so embedded.
Hmm.
And that's all the only word I can use. I don't want to say that the energy is so evil. It won't leave. It's not that. It's just so embedded. It's just been there so long. I've cleared out portals that when I first look at them, they're tiny looking little holes in the ground. But by
Hmm.
the time we're done clearing, I've cleared out acres. So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to keep going back.
Yeah.
And
Well,
plus the
like,
energy in the people. The people can keep it.
oh, absolutely. I think that's a problem with the Queen Mary when we went. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was
Because they want it.
ridiculous.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't want anybody to be cleared.
No,
Yeah.
they want it to stay.
Yeah, there's
And
hotels and all kinds of places that capitalize on all that.
yeah,
But I can't
that's like
blame them. But at the same time,
I hate the fact that they're like zoo animals, caged
right?
up and try
Yeah,
to make money off them.
you're
That
just
bothers
taking
me.
advantage of the bad situation already. They're already stuck,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
they're already enslaved to something else, and you're just capitalizing on
Mhm.
their slavery. That's how I
Mhm.
see it.
Yeah, it's true.
But it
So
needs to be cleared. I think that the energy, that was the point of when we started this conversation, was that the energy needs to be balanced out and cleared. It's like it's great and fun and exhilarating, and like I said, it can become addicting if you want to go do paranormal stuff because it's exciting. At the same time, that stuff needs to go.
yeah.
It's keeping us off balance. It's one of the reasons that we are off balance. It's one of the
Mhm.
reasons that they measure our energy play here,
Yeah.
because they want to make sure that it stays at a certain fear level.
Mhm.
If it starts to get happy, things are going good, bam, they're
Yeah.
gonna throw an event in there and just to make that energy
You're absolutely right.
clear up out. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Solana, we've got looks like about maybe 10 more minutes, but I would love for you to talk about your school a little bit if you can and what's
Oh yeah,
going on with that.
wow. I've got workshops coming up this weekend, Chakra 101 for the December 5th, and then December 6th, the SOS workshop. The Chakra 101 includes a chakra reading. The SOS gives you all kinds of information and tools to be able to deal with the low energies and whatever you may be experiencing in your own homes and neighborhoods. To be able to deal and just understand, it gives when you're able to understand the energy play from within, you're able to understand the energy play around you. And that gives you the ability to start maneuvering through it. And trust me, it doesn't mean that things aren't going to happen in your world, because every day we are shown anything can happen anytime. But how are you going to respond to it? How are you going to let it affect you? Is the
Hmm.
tools that you need to know, so that you don't take that in and own what's happening around you. So both workshops are happening this weekend on the 5th and the 6th. You can go to highersourceinternational.com and then class with Solana, and then just scroll down to the bottom to the workshops.
Yeah.
It's only $9.99. per person. And like I said, that includes the chakra reading. And we go through your whole chakra system and amplify and build you up and empower you to your own system. I've had people that have taken this workshop, several times just to come back and get that amplification.
Yeah, yeah,
Because we
absolutely.
need it. We're constantly being bombarded with energy, bombarded with thoughts, bombarded with
Mhm.
media, bombarded. So we need to be able to have strength and empower ourselves to move forward, no
Yep.
matter what, and respond and not react to everything that's going on around
All
us.
that garbage we're inhaling. We need to exhale. So
Yes.
it's a great class or workshop, you guys. $9.99, really. I mean, that's so super
Mm-hmm.
affordable. I know there's other schools that do them for like $1.99. So she's $10 bill, guys. $10 bill. Uh,
And it's a workshop, it's 2 or 3 hours long. So it's not going to take much of your time. There's going to be 2 times offered for two, because we got time zones
yeah,
that we deal with. So at 1 o'clock and 9 o'clock
yeah.
Eastern times. So,
And then, HSI, Higher Source International, a very accredited school. It's been around a while. Solana is a great teacher. She's been doing this for most of her life. And I also teach a few classes, or I mentor, I should say, or tutor a
tutor.
few classes in there as well. And and it's fun. And so check out the website, highersourceinternational.com. And if there's anything there you like and you don't see that we're having a course on it or a workshop, email it. She's got an email link in there and say, hey, when are you having your next ghost class or your next aura class or whatever, and she will get right back to you. She's really good about that.
I sure
So
will.
go check it out.
I answer as quickly as possible.
Yeah, Solana is always on her game, though. She is on her game. I mean, this girl's on it. She's just amazing, and more than I am on it. And seriously, I've kind of laid back and semi-retired, but I'm still around. But check it out, and then we're going to be on here every week, every Wednesday night, to entertain you guys. We're so
Right. I
entertaining.
hope we're so entertaining. I know. I know. I make myself laugh. I crack me up all the time.
Exactly. We're number one. Everybody wants to see us on Wednesday night. Yeah. But
That's right.
we do some spontaneous, crazy things. And don't forget, what do you call a baby born in a whorehouse? Right? What do you call a baby born in a whorehouse? Come on, Solana. What do you call a baby born in a whorehouse?
Oh my God, I can't believe I forgot already. A Brussels sprout? A brothel sprout. Brothel
A
sprout.
brothel sprout. Woo!
We'll
That's
slow
what
on
I
the
mean.
intake, but I remember.
Okay. You gotta know Solana, okay? I love her. No, she's great, and I got to spend. She came to Montana and spent a whole month with me last month, and boy, did I have a good time. And now she's gone, and I'm just so lonely. I want my Solana
I
back.
missed you. Are you
I
kidding me?
know. I had so
Come on.
much fun.
You need to come to Florida because it's warm.
I love the winter here, though. I love the snow. I love the cold. I don't like heat.
Oh, well, we have AC.
I
Or you
know.
can go to the pool.
I know.
It's always fun. But yeah, you need to come visit. You and Mary both. Y'all
I
need to come
know.
down here and visit me.
We want to.
I've been to California. I went to California 3 times, and now
Yeah.
Montana. So
Yeah.
you got to come to me next.
We're gonna come, and
Yeah.
we're talking about it. So for sure. But is there anything else you wanted to touch base on?
Well, I'm hoping to have it lined up to where we have some guests. We're not going to be just you and me, boring people. We want to have guests. I know, right? Viewers come and go when it's just me and you. So we need to have some interesting intrigue and some, interesting conversation. We can do that, yeah. And so next week I hope to have Miss Bree. I don't know if you know, or for you listeners out there, Miss Bree, you can find her on Facebook. She's in my group. She's one of my admins. She's been a student. She's been a grad. She's just an amazing person, and just someone who, no matter what, just always looks at the lighter side of life. She's paraplegic, and she's 29 years old, and she's, just made it through so many tragic things and so many horrible situations, and still has love in her heart, and still just gets up every day and tries to do her best. And, with all her limitations, she's made the cover of the
Bella Spree.
Thank you, Bella Spree magazine. She was, of course, a shared cover, but who cares? She had a whole article write up about it. It was great. And so
She did good.
she was in there. Okay. That's a
Yeah.
claim to fame she gets to keep. And so she's, appeared on many blog talk shows as well. She's a phenomenal reader. She helps people with charities and, kids in her neighborhood. She's just that kind of person. So she's going to be featured. Yes. And so we're going to feature her next Wednesday.
That's
we're going to have her brother and her write music together. We're going to have a few of the kids that she's actually touched their life. Yeah, by mentoring them. And so, yeah, we're going to have a few of them. I was hoping to get some videos and stuff made. We're going to see about getting some things done for her.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Yeah,
that'll be cool. And then I'm gonna work on getting Belle Salisbury, hopefully, on the show. She is the editor and owner of Bella Spree magazine. I would love to have her on the show because she is a absolutely amazing reader and she has a really interesting story. So it'd be fun to have her and some other great guests.
Mm-hmm. As you know, you may or may not know, Christina and I are both what they call diamond psychics for the Bella Spree magazine. So go and check out bellaspree.com.
Yeah.
Just an amazing body of work that she puts together every month.
Great metaphysical magazine. It's spelled BELLESPRIT, like El Sprit. Yeah. It's not spirit.
No,
spell it again. BELLESPRIT, Bella Spree magazine, or Google it and it'll come up too. But
yeah,
great magazine. It's free. It's an online magazine. Some cool articles. So check it out. And soon I hope to have the editor-in-chief on our show as well.
That'd be awesome.
I need to get with her and have a talk. So, yeah. What else? Right. Anything else going on?
Whew, there's always something going on. We just don't need to get into it. Been fun talking with you and hanging out with you.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad we get to do this every week. Oh, we do get to see each other. It's on video.
It's on a video player. What's that song?
I know, and our song, and for some people might be a little confused because our name is ParaNormal Psychic Radio in our promos and our taglines, but we were on radio and it's moved to video. But we're still going to call it the ParaNormal Psychic Radio Show. Because it's going to be just, available for video, audio. If you can't watch it because you're blind, you can still hang out and have fun with us.
That's right. That's right. So ParaNormal Psychic Radio has been around a long time. We just came to video, but we're going to keep it, like you said, ParaNormal Psychic Radio with Solana and Christina Nelson.
That's right.
And we're going to be having Brian Fox, your son, coming along and doing some shows with us once in a while. I would like to get him full time, but I know he's got a busy schedule. He's a working man, but love him. Very, very talented and very knowledgeable as well in the paranormal and many other things. And I'd like to touch base about the Anunnazis one day with him because he's so versed on that. And we could talk about that and have a show on the Anunnaki. That's an amazing story itself. So we have a lot in store, Solana.
Yeah, we do. And so I hope everyone who, listens, comes and follows along with us and, just come hang out and put your 2 cents in there. We'd love to hear from you. What you think about, the day's topics or just, what bugs you? What makes you happy? We want to know.
Or what you might want to have a topic about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any ideas? Yeah. We are open and ready to go.
Yep.
So, all right. I'm going to go ahead and cut it. I don't have an outgoing video, but hopefully
we'll work on it.
Intro happened.
We'll still work on it.
We'll work on it. We are a work in progress. Always.
Yes, we are. All right. You guys have an absolutely fabulous week. Solana, you have a good week, and we'll talk to you soon, girl.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
All right.
Good night.
See y'all around.